Alrighty, welcome back. We're back at it. We're going to try to make a console today. The reason being is this one does not fit the tunnel of the car, and I want one that's going to fit the tunnel of the car. We're going to probably end up putting a black carpet in this car with probably the white and the orange in the seats and maybe a little bit black. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that we're going to go with a black carpet. Just seems logical to go black with when you're putting your feet on it. But I like this console. I like how it sets with the wheel. If I have the wheel about here somewhere, I like that my elbow is on the glove box, or in the shifter where it's at. I like it. I like how this piece here fits the seat. It's kind of nice actually how it does fit the car. It doesn't fit it down in here, obviously. There's a big gap going on there. There's a big gap going on underneath here, but I like the shape. I like the inset here. It's recessed on the top. I like how it's around here on the seat. I like where the elbow lays on the on the cover there. I like where the shifter is. I like pretty much everything about it. I even like the color. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the console out. I'm going to mock some of the shapes that are on this console. I want to mock this shape here for the seat. I like it, and Maze will use it. And that's how you get ideas. You take from something else and you just make it your own. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take from this console and make it my own and put it in this car. And basically have been looking at it, trying to figure out how I'm going to make it. There's all kinds of ways to skin that cat, remember. But I'm going to try to make it as fast as possible. And this is basically what it's going to look like. The car is going to look like with inside. It looks very comfortable. It feels comfortable. That's what I want. A lot of custom cars that I have built are not very comfortable. And this one I want to try to make as comfortable as possible. And the reason being is because I want to drive it. I want to drive it. And it's very easy to build a car and not have it comfortable. It's very easy. Yesterday I did some of the bumper. You can come over and take a look at the bumper if you like. I've got both ends welded up on it. You can see right here, I got the end welded up here. That's where the seam was. There was a seam over here on this side. There was a hole. There was a hole. And also you can see on this side, if you want to get down, Jolene, I welded up the seam on the side also. Down along here, this seam here is all welded up because that was a seam here. Come down along through here, all around there and up through there. I did the other side. I welded that seam up on that one. I'm basically going to, we just kind of got away from the bumper for a second because we did the bumper the other day. But there was a comment, somebody said, close in the license plate. Great idea. I think I'm going to do it. I even drew a line there where I'm going to close it in, I think. I'm not sure, but yeah, I might. We'll see what happens. It just keeps going on and on and on and on, does it not? When you start customizing something or building something, it just keeps going on and on. It stretches on and on and on. Also, when I'm making this console, I want something that when I apply it to the car, I have to be able to take it in and out of the car because we're not going to use, Jolene's touching me, and I love her. She looks amazing today. The console has to be able to come in and out of the car to play with the shifter and have the shifter mount. I can't just weld something into the car and then expect to put the shifter in because I have to put the shifter in, then put the console over top of the shifter. So basically I want to be able to make the console be able to come out of the car and go back in the car. I see up on the firewall that I can probably mount it up in there somewhere on the firewall to hold it down, and then I would, if I had the glove box here, then I could open the door of that and I could mount it down to the tunnel in the back once I open that up, and then I could mount that console down in there. That's how, in my brain, that's how I think I'm going to hide it and put it down in there. I don't want to make any brackets come off it and try to hide it or screw it down on top of the carpet. I'd rather put the carpet in, put the console down, and then not know how you pull that off. That's basically how we do it. How most cars are built, you don't really show, or try not to show, how you have applied it. So I'm going to pull it out, and I'm going to go for it. I guess I'm going to go for it. Everything is kind of just sitting there. So I should have like a little piece of plywood to set this on. If I don't get it all done in one setting, we'll do it in 2 shows. If not, that's what we're saying, baby. If we don't get it all done, because it's going to be, you know, something like that. I don't know if I can get it all. I don't know. Haven't built it yet. But basically, I've got a bunch of different shapes going on here. To get in there and to cut up a bunch of cardboard and make a bunch of stuff, it's quite a job. Yes, it is. It's quite a job. So I'm going to try to make it and then slide it into the car. So I'll make it a little bit big, and then I'll cut it down to make it fit the car is what I'm thinking. I've got the basic shape right here, right in front of my very eyes. I've got the basic shape. And there's quite a few shapes here. They got this shape. I've got this little flat shape here. Then I've got a French shape inside here. I've got a shape that cuts in around here where it cuts in around the seat. Then I've got this shape that comes down straight. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this down straight. We'll just make it extra long to make it try to fit the car the best it can. I've got this shape that turns up here. I've got a glove box that sits here from my elbow. I think I want that. So as I'm looking at this, I'm going to dissect all the shapes. I thought of a piece of exhaust pipe for this shape. I thought of bending it in the brake and getting all this here. There's a whole bunch of things that went through my brain, but basically I have to go, or I want to go with the most simplest thing. And I'm thinking that the most simplest thing is, this is how I'm going to explain it, the most simple is to do it this way, I'm going to explain it to you right now. I got a concave shape here, I've got a concave shape here. So what I'm thinking is, I might as well do it as I talk. That way there we might get something done. I'm going to take a piece of tape. I'm going to have to use my brain on this one because it's not, you know, there's a lot of shapes going on there, and I sort of want to make it similar to what we have here. But we have a concave shape here and a concave shape here, and we have something that's Frenched here. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to get the widest part of the console is right there, and I can see that with my own eyes. It's narrow up here and it's narrow in the back, and I'm going to try to basically do what they have done because I like it, taken from them and doing, you know, mocking it, and then I'll end up doing it my own way because whatever happens, happens. I'm going to do it my way in the end. Oh, that's not even going to stick. You got some armor all on that. I'm going to take and wipe that off with some reducer real quick, just for shits and giggles, so the tape sticks. I want to know that length. I want to know the length. I knew that when I pulled the console out that it had some armor all on it, because when I put my hands on the steering wheel, it was right slippery, eh? If you've ever had a seat in your vehicle that's... I'm just going to just wipe it off, just so I can stick some tape to it, that's all. So I'm just going to get the distance. Makes it look nice, don't it? Huh? Hopefully that took it off. I'm going to get the distance from here. Probably not. So I got a piece of tape here. I'm just going to do this right here. Jolie's going to hold it down for me. Hard to do a measuring tape on that. Stuck on that side. As soon as it dries, it's stuck. So this is what I'm thinking. I'm going to cut a piece of metal that wide because that's the shape I want. That's the one shape that I'm going to get. So I'm going to take a piece of metal, cut it this length right here. So it's going to be this wide. And we'll do the measurement, and whatever is the closest we'll use, like on, you know, 5.5 or 6.5, or if it's 9, if it's 10, we'll use that, not 3/8, 3/4, whatever. We'll try to make it the best we can. We'll make it flat like that. We'll make this concave shape, and we'll make this concave shape. That's what we're going to do first. And there's a wide enough piece there, but it doesn't give it all the way. And this piece is, let's check out and see how long this piece is. I got to sort of get in the mood here and get rocking and rolling, because if I don't, we won't get much done. Let's get her a little shear that shears our metal. Does a good job. So basically what I'm saying is, we'll at least make it that long because it looked good. I'm gonna say 4 feet, because it's not 4 feet, it's a couple inches over 4 feet, or this, I'm gonna make it a little bit longer. Then I can cut it off. I got a little bit to play with. I got a little bit to play with. I'm going to take this sheet of metal right here. I'm gonna make some noise. Somebody wanted this, did they not? Not sure if that'll get sent or not. Jolene's always busy, so that's what happens. She's always busy. I'm going to pull this out. So we're going to make this shape, and that'll be flat. Alrighty. We got a ruler stick there, got a marker in my pocket. We've got this length here. So I'm just going to lay this length out. And that's how wide it is. I used a piece of tape. It says we're close to 8.5, but we're going to do 9. So we're going to do 9 inches. I'm just going to mark it on 9. Like I said, we want to use an easy number. 9 inches. That's the wheel well I haven't cut out yet. That's okay. We'll get to it. We want 4 feet. It's fun to make this sort of stuff. It's fun to try to make this sort of stuff. And basically, I'm trying to make it as quick as possible. And that way there, you get to see what's going on. And if we... need my glasses, I do, but we'll get them here in a minute. Just want that line over there a little bit. Make it a little bit better. Now I'm hoping we can get all them shapes out of that. Jolene is trying to work something out for the YouTube station that you always have content while we're probably going to take a couple weeks off. We're probably going to take a couple weeks off, a few days anyways, and Jolene's going to work something out. So the people that watch the YouTube faithfully will have something to do while we're having a little break. And I think that's awesome of her. She's thinking of you guys. She is. All right, I'm going to cut this. I'm going to grab my glasses. Did not think about my glasses before I started. You see them at all anywhere, sweetheart? There they are right there. I'm at that age, boys. I'm at that age. Reason I like these because they're not warping anything up yet. When they get dull, they might start stretching the metal a little bit, but they seem to be working fine. These are working awesome. Oh, yeah, just slid over just like that I did. Didn't he? Just like that. That's how it messes up cord underneath there. Made it longer than I need it. The reason being is I can always cut some off. I have to weld it to add to it. Now, I'm going to do a measurement. We've got 9 inches, so I'm going to do a measurement. This measuring things, this is where I usually can mess up easy, where I have a measurement. 4 inches. So 4 inches, that gives 5 inches left, so 2.5. So at 2.5 inches. I'm just trying to get this measurement here in the middle so I know where to bend it. So we're 2.5. 2.5. Probably should throw that on the ground. 2.5. Just reminding myself as I say it. I'm hoping that we get somewhere as close on this side. That's the side I cut, so. Now, when I measure that in between there, we've got 4 inches. We've got 4 inches. We've got 4 inches. So we're basically going on the same. I'm going to set that console down because it's going to be on the ground before I know it, and I do not want to damage it because it's a nice console. But we'll just take measurements off it. It's a nice little piece to be anywheres. Display it anywheres. Let's put that on so that it looks right. Come on, Chetty. There we go. Alrighty. Take our ruler, draw our line through. We're going to get done as much as we can. Yes, we are. And you can make any console you want. You can. Basically, the reason I'm going off that one because I like it. I like everything about it. The shape of it, how it fits the seats, where the armrest is. I like pretty much all of it. I'm going to have to change some of it, obviously, to make it my way. And that's okay. Because then it'll be my console, not theirs. As soon as I change it a little bit. Talked to my friend with the interior that's going to do the interior on the car this morning about Jolene's interior panels and stuff. I think we're going to make the inside door panels of her car with metal and then cover the metal because they're not coming off. We're probably going to make them out of metal. Alrighty, so this is what it gives me. This gives me straight across from there to there. I want to measure something. From there to there is 4 inches, and up there it's 3 inches. That's okay. That makes this ours, right? Doesn't it? So basically, what I want to do is I want to put a concave bend in that, and I want to put a concave bend in that, and have that flat. I'm thinking instead of running the wood, we're going to run chrome, bad Chad flexible chrome. All right, let's go in and bend it. We're going to put this on. It's 4 feet. I wonder if this is 4 feet. Nope. That's too bad. I thought that would be 4 feet. Alrighty. Let's change things up here a little bit. I'm going to try to get that bend in by doing it this way. We're going to do it in the brake. I have seen a brake where you press, you set it up, you press a button, and it bends for you. What I'm going to do here, I'm just going to go back over here, sweetheart, for a second, maybe try to get this. The console, yeah, let's just do it this way. I'm going to draw a couple marks here, just so I know where to bend it. and that's how, when I fold it down. So this is what I'm going to do. Put it on there like that, and mark it every 1/4 inch. That way there, I know where to hold it down and give it a little bend. We're trying to make this round, so this is my plan. So every 1/4 inch, give it a little bend. And you can put this on something round and bend it over like I was going to. That's what I was going to do. But the workstation that I have is not 4 feet long, so it's pretty hard for me to slide it in there and bend it. So this is an obstacle that we're overcoming. Never even thought of that. So, ouch. Piece of wood underneath there got me. Now, if I had a degree thing on this, I could, what I'm going to do is shove it in to the first one. I have to move these tires. DA. All right, we're going to pull it down some. Just going to put on the first mark. I'm kind of wondering if I could mark something just so I know how far I bend this up each time if I did it the same. You know what I'm trying to tell you? What I'm trying to say is it would be nice to know every time I pull up on this handle that I'm pulling it the same distance. Wouldn't it? Yes, it would. So I'm going to put something on there so every time I come up and hit it, I know it's on there. How am I going to do that? Let's do this. Just so I... If I come up and hit that, it's going to be too far. I know somebody's got an idea right now, it's just they're not here to tell me. I'm going to take a piece of metal and put it on that. I had a little flat piece of metal. Dun, 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 dun. Just trying to find a little piece of metal, that's all. I'll cut it off on that. How long does it have to be? Just so I know I get the right. That's what you get when you work quickly. Just so I'm trying to make that concave bend, and I want to try to make it the same, you know. I want to make it the same. So every time I come up and hit that, that's the end of the bend. Nope, that's on that. Can't do that. That's one bending. Maybe I can do it on this one. Nope, can't do it on that one. Can do it on the middle. Huh. Come on. Hard to get me going here. Can't put it in there like that. I just want something to tell me when to stop, that's all. It'd be nice. maybe a mark. Maybe I can mark it. Got my marker right here. I'll just do my first bend and then see if I can mark it. All right, there's my mark. So every time I bring it up, I'll bring it to that mark. So I let that loose. Let that loose. Wasn't even on that mark there. It doesn't work. We're on the third one. Hopefully we can get them somewhat the same. We'll have to play with it after we get it off. We're on the fourth one. It's not working out the way I want it to already. I should have bent that down first. I'm in a pickle already, boys. I'm in a pickle already because I haven't got it bent down where it's supposed to go. I'm on the 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm on the fifth one. Well, we'll work it out. That's what we'll do. We'll work it out. 2, 3, 4, 5. On the sixth one. We're on the sixth one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we're looking pretty good right there. I'm going to take that out. Not bad. This needs to come down. I need that down. That's not. Got to be careful here. That's what I got to be. I got to be careful. And the reason being is I don't want to mess up my first piece of metal. Just start it. All right. What I'm doing is I'm marking a mark on the other side. What I'm going to do just have to be careful. I want to bend this down because this is supposed to be my flat part, and my concave part is down here. So this is where the shifter sits. I've got that turned up. So what I'm doing is making a mark on the back side so I can bust it back down. Not sure if I should do it now or do it later. I guess it doesn't much matter, does it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bust it down right now. I thought maybe I'd get that in there without doing that, but I guess not. Just going to put on that line the best I can. All right. Everybody needs a punch in the head first thing in the morning. Huh? Billy baby! I need a punch in the head first thing this morning. Alrighty, let's see if I can get it again. Let's do it again. I want to get that out of there. It's just at the verge where yeah, it slid out on me. Not treating me right this morning. Not making me happy, I can tell you that. You want to pull that handle down, sweetheart? Man, she's good to me. Alrighty. Now, you son of a gun, pull it up, please. Not doing so good. Pull it up a little more. Pull it up. Not very happy yet, right yet. All right, I'm gonna pull mine down. Thank you, sweetheart. Having a little bit of an issue, I am. That's all right. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Overcoming it. Just want to see it. So basically, what I'm going for is that shape right there. Not bad. Not bad. Let's see if we can do it again. And we started with number 1. You could take and vice grip that to a long piece of round stock and bend it that way. Yes, you could. I'm trying to do it. Trying to do it this way. This is what I have. That's what I'm trying to do. Number 2. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Just counting these lines here. If I don't count the lines, I'll mess it up. And I can always tweak it after I'm done. I'm going to have to tweak it, obviously. Number 4, we want number 5. I wonder how many we bend on that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We bent 6. And I've got quite a bend going on there already. We'll do number 6 because that's what we did on the other side. 5, 6. Makes sense, doesn't it? Sure does. And I'm thinking that we got more bend than we need, probably. Just try to straighten it out here while I can see it. Now we know what we got to do here. Got that bent way too much, but it's going to flatten out when we put it on the other side. Oh, is that right? I wonder if we can get that in there. Sure we can. Sure we can. You want to pull down that, sweetheart? No, I'm going to do it myself. And the reason I'm going to do it myself is because if you wasn't here, I'd have to do it myself, wouldn't I? Huh? That's what I was talking about. Oh yeah, I know. That's what I was talking about, how it would straighten out for me when we do this. Because I did it on the other side. Just trying to straighten that one out. going to have to make it go down like that. We're just going to take it out and take a look at it. What have we got going on? It don't look bad. What I mean it don't look bad is both bends, both concave bends don't look bad. We're laid down more. This is laid down. As this goes across, laid down towards that more. That's okay. Let's do it. So that means it has to be bent more. I'm going to put this one in where I want it. Put this one in where I want it. Beautiful. Apply that back out. That's fine. We'll bring her back out. What do I have to do in this one here now? Trying to make a shape is what I'm trying to do. Not liking this one, so I'm just going to line that down on that. Just going to hold it for me. You can see how it's twisted along here. It's wider up there than it is here. Just going to try to make it straight on that. Looking at it. Not bad. Not bad at all. Come take a look. Stuff, if it's not right, you can bend it by your hand. What I'm thinking is, you can see how wide we are. You see how the widest part. See the end here. We're too wide in the middle because it was 4 back here in the widest part. This is a wider part. It gets narrow there. We didn't do that. But you can see how right there to there, we're looking good. I'm not minding that, not at all. We got a nice little groove going down. That's good. That's good. Let's go to the next part. We have this piece in here. It's sunk down in there. It's Frenched. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a box and set it inside of that. So, or maybe we should put the armrest on the back first. We're a couple inches long. What I'm going to do, this is what I think I'm going to do. We're a couple inches long, so I'm going to leave the couple inches long for the front so I can scribe it to the firewall. So when I can just keep shoving it, keep cutting it off until I get it to fit the firewall nice. That's what I think I'm going to do. So I think we're going to come back here to this piece. This piece right here. We can also notice we're a bit, that's what I want to do. See how we're twisted there a little bit? certain things you got to take notice of. If you're twisted a little bit, you got to catch it before you start welding it together. Basically, got a little bit twisted there. That wasn't too hard to figure out the twist. And it's not serious stuff if it's twisted up a little bit when you put it. You'd never ever notice it. But I'm just saying it's got a little twist to it, and we want to try to. Laying there nice and flat there now. We're going to do the console. We're going to do that in the back. As we notice in the center, it's the widest. So I'm going to go 2 feet. We're at 4. I'm going to make it easy. At 2 feet. We're saying that center of what we got going on. It's at its widest. It goes back to, you can see here, you can see it comes back to a narrow from the widest to the front to the middle. It's narrow, so we're going to narrow it up a little bit. You see that this is not. This one here has to be bent up a little bit more. Just going to slide it in here for a second. We'll put her on number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 7. 1, 2, 3. Number 7. Just going to bend it up a little bit. One side's laid down a little bit nicer than the other. This side is pretty well right on the money. And all I'm looking for is this shape right here. I could make a template for it and template it and keep going. What I mean by template is, even the shape finder, I could keep doing that and doing that and doing that and doing that, but I don't mind doing it by the eye. And I'll tell you why. Because if it's good enough for my eye, it's good enough for me. If it looks good, what's wrong with it if it looks good? Cool. A little bend there, I want fixed. Just trying to straighten it out the best I can. Oh yeah. The reason I'm trying to straighten this out is because when I cut it off, I want the same distance on both sides. Alrighty. So the center's here. I noticed that it's the widest up there, so I'm going to measure in here. We'll say on number, there's the center. Center. So it's getting narrow. This is the widest part. It's getting narrow back here. So I'm going to take some off this here to there. I'm not going to take very much off. I'm going to take a little bit. I got 3 marks there. Let's take it right to the piece of wood there. And then I can hold it on the 3/8 mark down to the wood. We'll go to the, got that, do you, sweetheart? I'm going to go here to the 3/8 mark. It's the piece of wood. So I'm saying I got the same distance cut off there. Don't have to do this, but I'm going to. So I'm going to shear that off. Gives me a little different shape up there. So this is going to be the back where this turns in, where the seat is. So there's going to be a piece that wraps around there. It's the widest part coming up to the narrowest part. It does the exact same thing on the front. I have to decide. I don't think I'm going to do it on the front. I'm just going to do it on the back. And the reason being is I'm going down wide on the front, on the tunnel of the car. It's wider on the front than it is the back. And I'm just doing it because to give a little bit of shape to it. Maybe I will. I'm not sure. Maybe I will. Bum, 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 bum. What the hey? So I'm going to go from the line to 2 on this one. I'm going to make it a little bit different on the front. I'm going to 1/2 inch to I got my marks already there. Just going to give it a little bit of shape. And basically what I do is I'm just going to take a look and see if it's close. And it is. Alrighty. Don't know if I need to cut that off now or not. I'm going to take and make this console piece for the back. How do I want to make that? Let's take a measurement. Come on now. Never such a hard time to wrap piece tape in my life. All right, that's the measurement. What I'm saying is I want a piece of metal that long. And the tallest piece, we'll say by 4. So a 4-inch piece by the back I'll leave for. So what I plan on doing is cutting a 4-inch piece. It's 4 inches tall. We'll say it's 4 inches tall. We'll say it's 4 inches tall. You all right, sweetheart? She's going down. She get the sneezes while she got a bad back, and that's not a good combination, is it, sweetheart? No, we're going to drop that down in there. I'm just thinking to myself, I want to make a piece of metal 4 inches tall. I want to go up here and then bend it around, then bend it around. I'll fill the back in after, just because I think it'd just be easier to do that. But if I cut a 4-inch piece, and then I can just bend it here and have this piece coming back and this piece coming back, then I can set it on top of it, and then I can angle it after. That's what I'm thinking. So I want to let you in on the process of what I'm doing. So I just took a measurement from here all the way around, and I measured the height. So I'm going to do a 4-inch piece, 34 inches long. 34. 4-inch piece, 34 long. Let's see, 34. Trying to keep the tape measure straight, and that way there I get a, half a straight piece. 4 inches wide. We'll make it 5. Make it so I get a little bit to cut off. We're going to do 5. Get a ruler going. How fast can you make a console? That's basically what's going on today. How fast can you make a console? And basically, you could take a long time in there with a piece of cardboard. You can, making it fit and making it work. All I'm doing is mocking what I had, mocking what I've bought, and then I'm going to make it ours. I'm changing it up a little bit as we go. It's not going to be exactly, but that's okay. Keep that in my pocket. Anything to hold the cord to try to get you to go off a straight line, it will. So you have to pay attention full time. Alrighty. So we have to do a little measure and find out where center on this bad boy is. So the center of 34. 15, 17? 17 is center. 17 is center. When I did that, this is one thing I wasn't thinking. Actually, I can see how that's leaned back like that. I think I want that. So actually, I can still get that because I can make my box and then lean it back, and I won't have to cut it. It's okay. So 17 is center. We want it, see how it's kind of setting out here a little bit on that shape there, over there a little bit. You can see that, can you? Okay, well, we could set it on top. We could set it on top of this and just set it on top of it and do whatever, but we may as well make it look difficult. Basically, that's what I'm saying. We may as well make it look difficult. So it's 4 inches. We're 4 inches on the top. So if we do it 5, we're going to get it down in there a little bit. And basically that's what we're going to do. We're going to get it down in there a little bit so when it curls around it makes a funny shape there because that's what we're doing. So we're at center. So I found center of this piece. Now I want to bend it at the 5 mark. So 2.5, 2.5. I'm going to do a 5 mark there and a 5 mark there and at the beginning there and at the beginning there. So we'll just measure it. I'm just going to measure it this way and see if it's okay. 2.5. 2, 2.5. So there, we're good. I'm going to let's take this ruler and go across. You could have a square to do that, but yeah, we're fine here, I guess. Trying her eye up and see if she looks right. Alrighty, so that's what I'm saying is the face of that thing. And if I take a look at it here like this, it goes past it on either side. So we're going to get that funny shape that goes down in halfway. We're going to have to put it in there and cut it. We're going to go up here somewhere. And then we'll cut that down in there and get it down in there so we get that shape. Alrighty, I have to bend this. I want to make it round, a little, basically somewhat round on that shape. I'm just looking around here. Just looking around. Same shape there. That's a good shape right there, bye. That's a small, all I'm picking is this shape here because it's small. Over there it's bigger, in there it's bigger. I just want to make a nice round shape, that's all. Straighten her a little bit. All right. Now, that armrest down there is laid back a little bit. Just want to bring her in some. So, now I have to remember I'm going to cut that off down there. Probably should do that now. Just looking it over. Just trying to make this bend a little sharper, I think. To make it sharper, I just bend it a little bit further and then pull it back a little bit. Alrighty. I'm going to cut off the edges right at the present moment. These edges so I'm going to make it smaller. I'm going to cut them off now so I don't get sidetracked, or not sidetracked, but confused. I'm going to cut them off right now with the zip cut. And the reason I'm going to cut them with the zip cut because I'm not sure what the little shear is going to do. I'll just cut a straight line there, just making it narrower in the back. We'll zip them off really quick if we can. Front, back. You got yours? Where's yours? Where's the other? That's fine. You wear them. No, go ahead. No, I'm not doing that. Not doing that to you, baby. Not doing that to you. We're going to put our earmuffs on. Why not? You can turn the TV down. We're using 18 gauge. That's what I use mostly for everything, 18 gauge. I don't usually change it up too much. Now, so I'm going to do this. Marker. Just trying to figure this out. What I want to do here? Do I want to? I can slit this piece and slide this down in, or I can cut the bottom of it off. This has to go down in here in the front to get that to go like that. See how I got this going on here? I'm just going with this. See how that's going down in there like that? That has to go down in there to get that. You know, unless I want to continue and put it on top, but I might as well make that shape. I have the chance to. But I'll cut it there and slide it down in. That's why it's too wide up here. So when I slide it down in, I get that shape. It's angled back, so I want to cut the back off. How much do I want to cut it off, and how much do I want to lay it down? I don't think I want to slit it. I don't want to slit that. I think I want to weld that along there. I want to weld that along, but I want to slide it in the front. So I have to figure out what I want to figure out is how much I want to cut off to make it slant back. I can cut the front out of it and slant it back and do it that way, but I've already got that there. If I take and how much if I slant that back, doesn't give me a real nice slant back, does it? Let's measure in the back what it is. Just going to measure it in the back. 2. So I'm going to measure down here 2. Measure this side 2. And I don't have to do what they do, but just a game I'm playing with myself. So if I take this and go from the bottom of this to that 2, that's basically what I'm cutting off to lean it back. Now, I can check that out by doing what? Still really not laid that back that far, is it? Let's do it this way. I laid it on like that. It's not bad. Laid back. Yeah, it's good. Just trying to see how far it's laid back. It's not bad. That's laid back more, but fine by me. Fine by me. I'm going to cut that off, and then I'll lay this one on that side and cut it off so we can get it the same. Okay. We're leaning back good now. I want to drop this down in there. Yes, yes I do. I want to get it on there so it's straight. Having a hard time, right, sweetheart? Just having a hard time, boys. I'm just going to draw that down in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slit a hole down in there, and I'm going to drop this front down in there to get me that shape. Get me that shape. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. There's my... And I have to drop it down in there because I want that different shape going on. Let's see what happens. It's leaning back that way. Good. Good. That's going to drop it down in there, and that's going to take some of this angle away. Yes, it is. But that's okay. That's okay. Might take all the angle away. I don't know, but it's okay. And it might have to be zipped a couple times. And it probably will. I knew it! This is fun stuff right here. I'm kind of rushing, yes I am, but it's fun stuff. I'm Canadian, I know. See what happens. So, just had to see where I got to cut it. Just got to cut it on this angle here a little bit. See that shape right there? That's the shape I'm getting right here. I'm going to, right here, this is the shape, boom, and then around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my welder started up, tack it in place. Just kind of thinking if I want to go down further. Going down a little further. Don't want to, but I'm going to. Just gives me less gap to weld up, that's all. I can handle that part. Let's move this bad boy. Actually, it's fine. You all right? Now, this console, I can weld it up solid. Yes, I can, and I might. But like Jolene said, you don't really have to weld the console up solid. And the reason is, I'm missing a ground piece on this bad boy. And the reason is, it's not going to be outdoors. It's not going anywheres. So I could weld it up and not have it welded up solid, because I could, you know, tack it together and then fiberglass it. Yes, I can. But we'll see what goes on. We'll see what happens. Yes, we will. We'll see what happens. What I enjoy, what I like, what I don't. And we'll go from there. And basically just trying to get it in there somewhat straight, and it's all by eye. Looking good. You are, Jolene. You're looking good. Fantastic. Two tacks. She's not going anywhere now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tack it down the back here. Fitting good there. Got the exact same distance on the other side, I'm hoping. If not, I'm going to make it the same distance. Got a reducer can there, not interested in that. Not interested. Just going to shove it down a little bit to make it the same. Now, we got same distance on either side. Stop hitting the card shed. It's going to tack it a couple places. Ouch. See that roll down and burn me? It's funny, wasn't it? Got a little bit of a gap going on there. Doesn't bother me. Does not bother me. Good. Same distance on the other side. Alrighty. I have got that cleaned back quite a ways, I have. This is just the top of it. It's not bad. Not bad. Put a cap on that, and then we'll cover on top of that. Cool. Dun, 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 dun. Alrighty. So I'll have, when I weld this up around here, I'll have that shape that I've got going on there. It's narrower in the back than it is in the middle. We're going to cut this front piece. Let's do this piece right here. Let's make this piece where it's Frenched in for the shifter. What time is it? 117. Do I leave it? Alrighty, what's going to happen is, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not sure if anybody wants to watch me weld up a bumper or not, but that's what I'll probably end up doing. I'll probably turn towards the bumper. We don't need to do the bumper anymore. Put a piece in it. But basically what I will do is we'll leave this here, and we'll come back to this tomorrow. But basically, what you see what's going on here now is I'm going to, tomorrow, we're going to French a piece in. We're going to cut this out, and we're going to French a piece all the way in here, all the way back, cut that shape out, make a box, put it in there, and lay it so it's sunk down in there. We might even cut the back off and get that angled off. We need a piece for the back of the console. Remember, we're only this far up on the back of the console right now. Like we're at this point right here. We haven't got any in the bottom on yet. That's why we're looking shy in the back. I got looking at it, but that's the place where we're at right now, putting that on. We're at this point right here. So basically, we got to add all that to it yet. And that's coming down on the back side of it. But basically what I can do is I'll come in here and I can weld that all up to make that look nice. And then get ready for tomorrow to put this piece in. And we'll do it together to see how I do it. And then we'll go from there. So this can be the bottom of the console. I can maybe put a bolt down through here to go, maybe put a bracket on the car itself, on the tunnel of the car. I'll put a bracket. And then I can screw it down here when I open the cover of the glove door. And then I'll maybe make a bracket up front that I can put on the firewall to hold it down so you can't tell. Alrighty, let's go give away a hat or a shirt. Thanks everybody for watching and going with me, going through the process. It's something, it's something I'm just going for as fast as I can. And I'm having fun doing it. I could do it a lot slower and take my time. But let's face it, the quicker I get it done, the happier I'll be. And that's what we're going for. Also, Jolene said that she's going to try to keep content for everybody while we take a couple weeks off. We don't want to leave anybody to astray, because I know that there's a lot of camaraderie goes on between the YouTube page, and everybody seems to enjoy everybody, and we do not want to mess with that. Do we, sweetheart? We just want to take a couple weeks off and do our thing. And we will be back, that's for sure. We will be back. Should I open the door? We're going to open the door, see if we can get this bad boy to work. We're losing a lot of snow today. Me and Jolene went and bought 3 big bags of some salt, 3 big bags of salt, and as I was 3 big bags, that's 40 kg bags we bought, try to get rid of some of the ice here. And as I was lifting it up and put it into the back of the truck, the lady said, "Are we having an ice storm coming soon?" I said, "Oh no, we just got a lot of ice, that's all. We want to try to get rid of it." That's basically it. We want to try to get rid of it. 344 comments. I want to thank everybody for sending a comment. If you do not comment, you do not get a chance to win a hat or a shirt. Like and subscribe and ring our bell. You don't want me to sing it either. Very nice car chat. Well, thank you, Sam Brizadine. Thanks, Sam Brizadine. Thank you for the comment. You've won a hat or a shirt of your choice. All you do is get a hold of contact with Jolene, and she'll set you up with whatever you desire. But if you can tell everybody to share, like, and subscribe and ring our bell, that would much be appreciated. The more people we have when we come back, the bigger the page will get and the more people everybody will get to meet. Have a good one, everybody. I'm going to weld up what I have on the console, and then we'll be back tomorrow to try to finish up the rest. Have a good one.